So you think you know Phoenix, but what if I told you that Phoenix is actually made up of 4 different areas, 4 different worlds that make up the entire Phoenix area? See, Phoenix is not a one-size-fits-all across the different area. There are different sections, and today we're going to dive into those different areas, starting with the core of the city and going on out to the very edge, fringe areas of the valley, and why some of these might be really good bets to bet on for the future, and some you might get caught if you don't know what you're doing. So whether you're looking to relocate from out of state or you already live here, either way, you need to pay attention to this video to the end, because there are some postal codes that you're just overpaying for the name, and there's other places that have a lot of value that no one's talking about. We're gonna break that all down on this video right now. Now, if you take a quick look at the map, you can see that Phoenix, well, it doesn't have a beltway system for the most part. We're not talking about perfect circles, perfect rings that a lot of major cities have going out from the downtown area, the nucleus part of the area, on out and about throughout the city. It actually is more like a square or a rectangle, because Phoenix, well, it is geographically situated around mountains. That's why they call it the Valley of the Sun, because Phoenix sits down in a basin where it is surrounded almost on all sides by different mountain ranges. So looking back at the map, Phoenix, it does have a loop system with the Loop 101, Loop 202, and even the newest Loop 303, and one day probably a Loop 404. But as you can see, it's all dictated by the flow based on where the mountains currently sit. So you gotta love Phoenix for that reason. It is very easy to get around. Phoenix is also based on a grid system for the most part. Not a lot of diagonal roads and roads that swerve all the way throughout the city. You're talking roads that go north-south and east-west throughout most of the valley, making it very easy to get to know where you have to go and to just get around in general. So now let's zoom in to the nucleus, the center point of the city of Phoenix. That is the downtown area, just south of the I-10 and just north of the I-10. We have the midtown area and the uptown areas of the central Phoenix nucleus. That is a really cool place to go check out. Now, if you want character in Phoenix, this is it. This is what you'll find here in the core of the Phoenix. But you've got to be careful, because this is a street-by-street neighborhood. These are historic districts that have their own makeup, a different type of architectural style throughout. You're looking at historic neighborhoods like the Coronado District, the Willow District, the Palmcroft and Canto District, the FQ Story District, and there are many others. But based on what kind of architecture you like or what kind of walkability you're looking for in your lifestyle will dictate which historic district you may want to call home. My favorite is the Palmcroft and Canto Historic District. It is beautiful. The architecture is fantastic. But if you're looking for more of a Tudor style for architecture, you might want to digress right over into the Willow Historic District. We have historic homes built 100 years ago that had that beautiful pitched roof, that Tudor style that a lot of people absolutely die for. And right next to the Willow Historic District is the Coronado Historic District, which gives you all great vibes, great architecture, and walkability and culture to a lot of things nearby. But also, don't sleep on the downtown Phoenix district, which actually is just south of the I-10. You have the commercial district down here. And see, downtown Phoenix for the last 30 years, didn't have a lot of good vibes going on, but that is starting to change. There's a big push to regentrify the downtown Phoenix area, and you're starting to see now a lot of condo buildings and residential living for people looking to live full-time in a downtown urban lifestyle. Phoenix is very spread out, and the downtown area, well, it was a ghost town for many, many, many years, and it was riddled with higher crime and homelessness, but that is starting to change. But slowly and surely, downtown Phoenix is going to become a phenomenal place to call home, and it's going to be really, really cool for the lifestyle people are looking for in a major city that Phoenix lacked for so many years. And if you're looking for culture and late night vibes and walkability to pretty much everything that you need, well, Roosevelt Row is gonna be a place that you need to check out. Now, this place is not for the families with small kids. These are places where you have convenience of walkability and very small yards, but you have some revitalized architecture and older buildings that return into condos. Now, if you don't live in Phoenix, think of that area in your city that was once maybe warehouses and it was kind of abandoned places. Well, this is now Roosevelt Row. This is revitalized. This is a thriving heartbeat of a place in downtown Phoenix. And speaking of revitalization in downtown, look just to the east of Roosevelt Row, you have the Garfield District. Now, this is a place where a lot of old lots and old buildings are being torn down and built up for condos and townhouses moving to the east. So currently Roosevelt Row is too expensive for you, but you want that downtown vibe lifestyle? Well, Garfield District might be the place you want to look at, because as things are moving to the east, you're going to get some value for some of those places as they start to turn over. But again, you gotta be careful because on one street you have this new big beautiful townhouse building, and the street over, yeah, you might get yourself in a little bit of trouble. So you just gotta know what you're getting into and know that it's a longer term play that's gonna take a little while to turn over completely and make it an extremely safe place to live. Now again, in the core of the city, in that rectangle, that box around the downtown area, just to the north, you have this area called the Central Corridor. Now this area is beautiful. If you just take a drive down Missouri Avenue, you will see sprawling estates on large lots from 7th Street to Central Avenue to 7th Avenue and the areas surrounding all of that. It is a gorgeous area to call home. Think California vibes, think Midwest landscaping and large mature trees, think grass yards with irrigated lots, and you're thinking correctly, that is the Central Corridor. It is a place that a lot of people with old money, well, they love to be in that area because you're close in the nucleus of everything, and prices, they're not cheap if you want to live in that Central Corridor. So you're looking for culture and architecture and customization of old school architecture and homes in the central area of Phoenix, and you're on a little more of a budget, you're gonna be thinking the historic districts just a little bit further south. But if you have a bigger budget and it's much larger and you're looking for that lifestyle still, but you want more space, then just a little bit further to the north, in the Central Corridor is where you're gonna wanna call home. In the Central Corridor, you're gonna find families, people with small kids and older kids, but you gotta be careful with the school district because the school district that is around there, well, it's not the most highly rated school district, so you're gonna be looking at private school or charter school options, and there are no shortage of those. You will find those in this area. You just gotta make sure you do research on the school district nearby, or if you wanna go private, there are some options for you as well. All right, now that's the core of the city. That's the rectangle that gives you the core of the city of a lot of older homes. See, Phoenix overall is a newer city compared to most cities across America. And so the availability of older homes with a lot of character and style just really isn't a big sample size, but you do have that in that center part of the city, those areas that we just described. But back to Zone 2. Zone 2 in the map is kind of a cool area because you're still close enough to the city, but you better open up your pocketbooks because now things could start to get real in terms of real expensive. This zone is going to include Paradise Valley. See, Paradise Valley has the most expensive real estate in the entire Phoenix area. Paradise Valley is where a lot of people come that are celebrities, superstars, very affluent people, and they live in Paradise Valley, and some of them only live there part-time. Even though the house may cost 8 figures and up, some people still have a second or even a third home in Paradise Valley. The Paradise Valley is that zip code where land's gonna start around $2 or $3 million on up just for the dirt. But again, you're gonna have a lot of privacy in Paradise Valley. You don't have too many smaller lots in Paradise Valley, so if you're looking for that sprawling acre lot or larger, PV, otherwise known as Paradise Valley, is going to be a great option for you. You are in the nucleus, the core of the center of the city for the most part, and you're close to everything. Sky Harbor just minutes away. Downtown Phoenix, and that core of Zone 1 is just minutes away. Heading out to Scottsdale, just minutes away. You're in the middle of everything. And by the way, views, did I mention views? And the iconic Camelback Mountain is in your backyard when you live in Paradise Valley. Picture mountain views, city light views, being elevated on Mummy Mountain or Camelback Mountain, looking down over the rest of the valley. There's a lot to do in Paradise Valley. The lifestyle, the outdoor lifestyle is everything. And don't forget about those resorts. There are some of the top 5-star resorts you're gonna find anywhere in the country that will rival these resorts. They are gorgeous, and people from all across the country who don't own real estate will travel out to PV just to stay at some of those resorts, like the Monte Lucia, the Camelback Inn, the Sanctuary, and the list goes on. So while you're gonna open up your pocketbook nice and wide to live in Paradise Valley, if you wanna open it up pretty wide, but not as much as Paradise Valley, well, Arcadia is gonna be the area you're going to explore next, and that is in Zone 2. So I'm going to tell you right now that some of the most expensive real estate in all of the Phoenix area is going to be located in this Zone 2 on the second ring, if you will, of living in Phoenix. Arcadia is a beautiful place that, again, was once fruit orchards that now have turned into sprawling ranch-style estates. In Arcadia, you're not going to have a lot of elevated lots, but you're going to have flat, usable lots, and most of them don't have homeowners associations attached to them, so you can do what you want with your land, and people love that. Now in Arcadia, even though you might have a Phoenix or Scottsdale address, you're located minutes within everything, including Paradise Valley, the airport, and downtown Phoenix. Oh, did I mention? You're just a short Uber ride to Old Town Scottsdale, where it's the epicenter of all the entertainment that happens in Phoenix. So in Arcadia, picture the Leave It to Beaver lifestyle. That's what we're talking about in Arcadia. A lot of families, a lot of people with golf carts driving down to their neighbor's house to hang out on a Friday afternoon. A lot of bikes being rode by kids in the neighborhood, going from house to house. It's just a phenomenal place, and the school district, outstanding in Arcadia. The public schools there, from Hopi Elementary to Ingleside Middle School to Arcadia High, are second to none if you want to stay in the public school district. You also have the access to private schools as well. Country Day Private School, arguably one of the top private schools in the entire state, is just minutes from the Arcadia area. And of course, don't forget the charter and private school options as well. But if you want room to stretch your legs and your arms and your pocketbook a little bit, Arcadia is going to be a phenomenal place you have to check out. Now let's go to what is known as the financial district of the entire Phoenix area, and that's going to be the Biltmore area. This is also located in Zone 2 and a phenomenal place to call home. Now, if you want more of that upscale lock and leave lifestyle, the Biltmore is going to be the place for you. You have golf, you have hiking, you are minutes from multiple trails and located in the center of the city like you would expect in Zone 2. You also have plenty of job opportunities and places to work or start a business in Biltmore. Think of pretty glass buildings, but not super tall buildings. Think of a mini downtown area. That's the Biltmore. And again, like in Arcadia, you have some beautiful streets, some great areas, but talk to a local real estate professional. This is why it's important to do that, because you don't want to be caught on the wrong street. See, in Arcadia area as well as Biltmore, the more south you go, the neighborhood kind of doesn't get as nice. So you got to know street by street where those boundaries are to make sure you're in an area that's right for you. And again, this comes with the territory of being in a Zone 2 area. That area is going to be perfect because there are some areas that are still going through the revitalization of an older building or rezoning from commercial to residential. In some of those areas, well, they could attract some people that are not necessarily full-time residents in the area, or at least one with an address, if you catch my drift. So you gotta talk to a real estate professional, know where you wanna be that fits your lifestyle, and of course your comfort level for being in a convenient, beautiful area like the Biltmore is. Now the fourth area and final area of Zone 2 is gonna be the South Mountain Foothills area. That's right, guys, this is the area that just backs up to the north side of South Mountain. See, South Mountain is one of the largest regional parks in the entire country with a ton of things to do if you love that outdoor lifestyle. We're talking mountain biking, road biking, we're talking hiking, and just being outdoors and enjoying the beautiful desert mountainous landscape. But up against this area, you have a street called Dobbins Road, and the housing along Dobbins Road and up against the mountain are beautiful. You have gated communities, you have non-gated communities, you have newer construction, and some of these lots are elevated to give you a nice view of the downtown area looking to the north. Now the walkability in this area is not going to be great. You have to get in your car or an Uber and drive to some places that are up and coming along the Baseline Road area. But again, you got to be careful for where you're going to be, because in that area between Baseline Road and say Sky Harbor Airport in the downtown area, there are some, some touch and go type of areas. So you got to make sure you are located in the area that's gonna be for what you're looking for and what it is. And if you don't talk to the right people or just look on Instagram or TikTok and get your advice from there, you could be up a creek without a paddle. So don't just believe the hype of what an area is. Make sure you study it and take a deep dive and talk to someone who knows street by street where it is that you need to be. All right, next up is gonna be Zone 3. Now this is where you probably should get pretty excited, because the options are incredible in Zone 3. There are too many to even go over. I could do 10, 15 videos on just the Zone 3 areas. But in the interest of time, we're gonna cut it really short, stay high level, and give you the overview of these areas so that you can choose the best one for you. Let's start this other part of this rectangle. That's gonna be Ahwatukee. Ahwatukee. That's right, this is a Phoenix address that is tucked behind the South Mountain Range, and it is a gorgeous place to call home. Guys, think family, and more families. That's who lives in Ahwatukee. You are tucked behind the South Mountain Range, and just till recently, the Loop 202 did actually get built to connect up to the I-10 and give people in Ahwatukee another way to get in and out this awesome area with a Phoenix address. So think Paradise Valley, but a lot less expensive, and that's what Ahwatukee is, because you don't have the convenience, but some people don't want that because you want the privacy being tucked away from the hustle bustle of the Phoenix city. And if that's what you're looking for, well, Ahwatukee is going to be a great option for you. You should definitely check it out, with great schools in terms of the public school options in Ahwatukee as well. And as we move over to the left, you can see Australia Mountain Ranch. Australia Mountain Ranch is a self-contained, everything you need community. So if you're looking for something that's off the beaten path, truly secluded in the Australian Mountain Range, then Australian Mountain Park is going to be a place you want to check out. Think a city within a city, and that's what Australian Mountain Ranch is. Everything from housing, schools, food, restaurants, entertainment, the social club, and the list goes on. The outdoor lifestyle is off the charts in the Sterling Mountain Ranch. So if you're looking for something like that, then that's a place you should seriously consider. Moving up the map to the northwest, you have Arrowhead Ranch and the Arrowhead area, which is a phenomenal area. It is actually well located, just right off the 101. You have a man-made lake that if you do live on the lake, you can dock a boat or a paddle boat right there and get out in the lake and have a good time on a Saturday, Sunday with all of your family and friends. And as you know, water in the desert adds somewhat of a novelty. So if you have one of those houses, you're like a king of a castle in your own right, living in Arrowhead Ranch. But if you don't have a house on a lake, it's still a great place because you have convenience galore. Beautiful communities of housing, beautiful shopping and entertainment with the Arrowhead Mall right there. You have the Arrowhead Town Center and all the entertainment and shopping that goes around there. And you have the home of the Seattle Mariners and the San Diego Padres for spring training as well. So a lot to do right there, and you have access to the 101 heading to the East Valley or south right from your doorstep. And so the convenience of getting to where you need to go, as well as just having everything at your doorstep, is almost second to none living in Arrowhead. Moving to the east on the map, down the 101, you have Desert Ridge. You cannot do a video on the cool places in Phoenix and not mention Desert Ridge. This is a self-contained, almost a city within a city, but it's just not tucked in behind a bunch of mountains like Australia Mountain Ranch is. And if you need to get to where you're going and say you commute to work every day, there is probably not a better place you could be. Why? You can go on the 101 west, the 101 east. You can go on the 51 south, which actually angles perfectly right into downtown Phoenix and the midtown, uptown areas. So you can get to wherever you need to be by being centrally located in the northern central part of the whole area in Desert Ridge. Desert Ridge has its own marketplace with shopping and dining, and it's home to the JW Resort with a lazy river if you want to take that staycation as well. And golf? Come on. Of course it has golf with the Wildflower Golf Courses, 2 courses right there that you can be a member of, or you can just pay and play publicly. But it's a phenomenal place to call home, and while there is a lot of state land still surrounding this Desert Ridge area, it's going to continue to get larger and be built out even more over the next 5 to 10 years. There is no doubt. Moving to the east in Zone 3, well, guess what? You have arguably one of the most sought after, desired suburb to live in the entire United States of America, and that is Scottsdale, Arizona. See, Scottsdale, Arizona is phenomenal and a great place to live, either full-time or part-time, which many people from across America take advantage of as well. This is the golf mecca of the world, and you have a little bit of everything. So whatever you're looking to do, Scottsdale is going to have it. Now you're going to have to open up your pocketbook a little bit more than most other places across the valley because it is more expensive real estate. See, Scottsdale is landlocked all the way around, and there's only about 1 to 2% of its land still available for private use. So real estate will continue to get more and more valuable in Scottsdale as we move into the future. But I have multiple videos on Scottsdale breaking up the 3 different sections of it from South Scottsdale, which includes Old Town Scottsdale and the downtown district, entertainment district, shopping district, the luxury lifestyle in that area of South Scottsdale. I also have Central Scottsdale broken down, which is known for convenience, high-end shopping, as well as larger lots and a phenomenal lifestyle when it comes to just having overall convenience of living in that area. A lot of families and a mixture of people who are older and younger alike. Then of course I have North Scottsdale broken down as well. If you're a little bit older, North Scottsdale is going to be a great place for you, or maybe a second homeowner, but there are places in North Scottsdale that are vibrant and full of life, with a lot of kids and great schools, with the highest ranked school district in the entire state of Arizona with the Scottsdale Unified School District. And sprinkled in amongst all of these things are a lot of entertainment, a lot of schools, low crime, and plenty of entertainment and things to do. And wrapping up Zone 3 is the East Valley. This includes Chandler, Gilbert, and Mesa alike. These areas are super sought after, and again, Zone 3, you have so much to choose from, it's not even funny, but Zone 3 really gets made up a lot of the family atmosphere. It's the suburbs, but not being out on the complete fringes of the valley. So you can still get to where you need to go, and they're all fully developed with their own commercial activity. So your lifestyle is not gonna be compromised while being in these suburbs. You have convenience to everything that you need in any of these places in this Zone 3. Just a great option to have, being a permanent homeowner or a second homeowner while living in Phoenix. But Chandler and Gilbert are going to be really made up of families and more families with a lot to do. Think youth sports on the weekends high school activities and sports happening down there a lot. A lot of good school options when it comes to different districts in Chandler and Gilbert alike. And in Mesa, East Mesa is very much so similar to the lifestyle you're going to get in Chandler and Gilbert, made up of newer communities and homes with very low crime, and of course, made up with families. So I'd recommend East Mesa the same as I would Chandler and Gilbert for that lifestyle of just raising kids. Because at the end of the day, it's not about just where you live and what your address says, it's about the lifestyle you create and what it's like when you come home from work every day. So personally, for me and my family with my kids, Zone 3 is a perfect place to be here in the Phoenix area. Now next is gonna be Zone 4. Zone 4 is pretty cool in and of itself, but Zone 4 is gonna be a lifestyle that you gotta commit to because it's a longer time frame in terms of these places being built out across the valley. You won't have the same conveniences that you're gonna have in the other zones, but it's a speculative play on the future of Phoenix. And honestly, the future, yeah, it's pretty darn bright. You look at where a lot of the major employers are starting to set up shop, and a lot of these are in this Zone 4. You're talking cities in the Southeast Valley like Queen Creek and Santan Valley, which are exploding, guys. Queen Creek is one of the fastest growing suburbs in the entire Phoenix area as we speak, and jobs are following. And then Santan Valley, if you're on a little more of a budget, but you like the Queen Creek vibe, with families and less traffic, then Santan Valley is going to be even better for you because you can get more bang for your buck being just a little bit further out from the Queen Creek area in that Santan Valley area. You won't have the same conveniences of good restaurants and entertainment, but you will have that Target and the Walmart that you can get to pretty quick for your essential needs living day to day down in those two places. And then on the West Valley, you're going to have Buckeye. Buckeye is the second largest city in the Phoenix area by landmass, and it's growing at an extreme pace, and it's not going to slow down. There is so much development happening out in Buckeye that it's going to continue to grow. There are a ton of master plan communities, and as far as I can see, you have flat land outside the White Tank Mountains in Buckeye, and so there is no shortage of land to be built and developed in the future. And developers and big money, they're already starting to gobble that land up because they know where expansion is happening in the Phoenix area, in the West Valley in the future. And Buckeye will play a huge part of that. Communities like Tartesso that are already there and Tervalis that are going to be built with 30, 40,000 homes in the future out in the West Valley are springing up everywhere. And so the next 10 to 20 years is going to be a big build out of Buckeye, but you just got to make sure you know you're good for that, because if you're not, you shouldn't be looking in those areas because you're going to be a little more secluded and away from all the modern conveniences that a big city has to offer. And then as you head north in Zone 4, you have other cities that are on the precipice of blowing up, but it's small town vibe still, so you got to be okay with that. But in the next 10, 20 years, it'll be interesting to see how the population continues to grow this way. But towns out the US 60 heading to the northwest, like Whitman, Morristown, Wickenburg, these places will continue to explode, but right now they have a small town feel and places that you might want to check out because real estate right now is inexpensive, especially the land if you want to get some space in these areas. And heading to the north up to I-17, you have places like Anthem. Anthem is solidified. Anthem, again, is a master plan community, almost like Australian Mountain Ranch is, where everything is self-contained and you don't really have to go anywhere if you already live in Anthem. You have everything you need at your disposal to live on a daily basis. But what makes Anthem special is that its location, even though it's in Zone 4, is really connected to the city primarily by I-17, and traffic flows by I-17. See, I-17 really recently went through some construction and they added a lane now, so now you're at 3 lanes at a minimum on both sides, and all the way up to Black Kansas City and beyond. And Anthem, well, the prices, they're not terribly cheap because you're out there a ways, but because Anthem is in fact Anthem, and there's a lot to do, self-contained, and a great school system with Boulder Creek High School anchoring that community, it's still not that cheap. So if you're looking for value being out in the Zone 4 area, Anthem will not be your play. But if you're okay going just a little bit further north of the I-17 to Black Kansas City, huge value. If you're okay, maybe working from home, or only have to commute into the Phoenix area maybe 1 or 2 times a week. Black Kansas City is going to have a small town feel, and real estate is inexpensive, and it's a little bit older too. So you're looking for new and modern, you're not going to find it in Black Kansas City. But if you're looking for something on the outskirts of the valley that really is secluded, where it's a small town community vibe, that will be Black Kansas City. So if that's for you, that might be a place you want to check out. And last but not least, we have this outer zone, things that are outside those 4 zones. And primarily we're going to focus here on the Smile. That's right, the south to southeast area, the fringe areas off the beaten path from the Phoenix metro area. Now, the reason I call it Smile is because we're talking the city of Maricopa, which is all in Pinal County, okay, which is kind of confusing, but city of Maricopa, down to Casa Grande, over to Coolidge, and then to Florence. Those 4 cities are the ones you want to look for in the future, because if I'm going to gamble on real estate that I think is going to appreciate the most for, just say, buying a house to live in for the next 10 to 20 years, these 4 areas I think will boom the most over the next 2 decades. Why? Because it's cheap there. It's cheap. Things are somewhat newer. A lot of construction, residential construction is happening on there, and big name businesses from all across America are supplanting themselves in this area, or adding a new division or an additional warehouse, manufacturing, whatever it may be, in this area in Pinal County. So look for this area to be one to keep an eye on in the future if you're betting on Phoenix. Thank you for watching our video today for the best and worst areas for not just today, but also the future of Phoenix. If you have any questions at all, call me at 480-660-5974. I would love to chat with you like I do on almost a daily basis with people reaching out to us from all across the country all the time. And we are passionate and absolutely love doing that. If you want to know the 16 biggest changes happening in the Phoenix area in the future, then watch the video here next.